Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. Today I'm doing some more salvaging to grind some money for whatever we decide to do next. Instead of just starting out with panels, I decided I wanted to go ahead and give an actual salvage contract a try, just to see what I could get from that. But as I was leaving Lawville, there was an active shooting going on or something. I assume it was some sort of glitch. At the very least I couldn't pull out my weapon as I was trying there. But I continued on a little cautiously. That was very odd.
From Metro Center. Stand by and let passengers disembark before boarding.
Although I didn't really know what was going on there, I didn't get shot at, so I decided to head off and start salvaging as usual. So since I haven't done any salvaging contracts up until now, this one is a very entry-level one. All that really means is that the ship we're salvaging is a much smaller ship, and as such it'll be nowhere near as valuable as the Drake Caterpillar that Orgashi and I salvaged in the previous video. I then had to fly 80 kilometers manually to the ship. Unfortunately, I couldn't quantum travel that short distance, so it took me a couple minutes to get there, which does add to the time it takes for these contracts, and it's something that you can factor in when you're figuring out how efficient these salvage contracts are. The funny thing about scale when you're in space is that it's really hard to judge. When I'd been doing panels in the previous video and a couple times in between that video and this one, I didn't really have a sense of how big they were, but as soon as I started salvaging this ship, I realized that they were much bigger, and you can see that based on how quickly I'm salvaging the panels on this ship. The thickness of the paneling may be a factor here as well, but regardless you can see that after salvaging this whole ship I had less than 1 SCU of salvaged material, so panels is definitely better. With this in mind, I decided to go and refuel my quantum fuel and go do some panels. This time around I'll go a bit more in depth with how to get to the Aaron Halo. The method I use since I'm based in Hurston is essentially taking off from Hurston, setting course to the planet Arccorp, and then you drop out of quantum travel at roughly 9.5 gigameters. You then want to equip your scanner, and from the different clusters, look for one where the number above the reticle is a multiple of 1000. I've then refined the scan just to try and get an idea of where the individual panels may be, and you can see once you get about a kilometer away, they'll be visible. So this cluster has a medium-sized panel and 2 small-sized panels. No large ones here. These panels have always looked quite small from inside the ship, so I decided to exit the ship and EVA over to the panel to see how big it was compared to myself. Here you start to get a sense of the scale of these panels, and this is only a medium-sized one. I realized in the last video that at least one of the clips that I sped up while doing this scraping was a little sickening, so I'll try and make sure that the clips are a bit smoother in future. But as you can see, this panel is taking substantially longer than the small ship from before. So after about a couple minutes of scraping, I'd gathered about 2.4 SCUs of salvaged material, so substantially more than that salvage contract, and I still have more panels to go. At this point it was getting fairly late, so I decided I would keep going until the storage in the printer was completely full. I would print out the crates and then log off on the ship. For those that aren't aware, to my knowledge, any ship in Star Citizen that has a bed can be logged off in. All you have to do is lie down in the bed, and then you look around for the interaction menu to the right normally, hold down F, and go down to log off. Assuming nothing went wrong, when you log back in, you should be in the same place that you left off. I went to check, and as you can see, I'm still in the asteroid field. I continued scraping panels until the printer storage was full once again, and then I went and printed as many crates as I could fit in the ship, including in the walkway. You can see what I do here is get all the crates as far to the left as possible, print out one here, and then once that's printed, you just need to be quick enough to lift it out of place so it's not blocking the conveyor, and then it will print out the next one underneath the one you're currently lifting. And then you can let go of that, and you have the maximum amount of crates stored on the ship. I did the final bit of scraping that I needed to do to fill up the printer's storage. And after that was done, I set route back to Hurston. After touching down, I loaded all the crates into the freight elevator, and in total I had 38 crates worth of material from all the salvaging. One of the crates got the better of me, but thankfully I wasn't seriously injured. I took a quick burrito break, and then I made my way to the commercial district via the train to sell for 500,000 credits. I've been having a bit of a think about what ship I want to get next and how I want to move forward, because while salvaging does make a lot of money, it can get a bit repetitive after a bit of time. So I'm gonna go to the ship store right now, and we're gonna take a look at some of the ships. I was tossing up whether to get the Freelancer or the Constellation, and I'm leaning towards the Constellation because it's double the price of the Freelancer, but it's easy enough to grind up to that. So I have 1.5 million now. The Constellation I want is about 8 million. This Constellation you're seeing here on the showroom floor is the luxury variant, which isn't the one I'm going for, but you can see it's got 3 seats in the cockpit as well as 2 turrets. So anyways, I anticipate the next video will pretty much be a summary of me grinding up to get this ship, unless there's something interesting that happens beforehand. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified for the next one. Be sure to comment down below if you have any tips or any recommended ways of making money in Star Citizen, and I'll see you in the next one.